Hey, welcome to Back Party Auto Works. My name's Jeremy. My friends call me Styles. This is a channel about me messing around with old cars, trying to fix and repair and build old cars with no money, no knowledge. Well, I get a bit of knowledge. Been in the automotive industry for probably 25 years. Parts and detail and stuff like that. So I have a little bit, been around cars for a bit, but not much more than most of you. Anyway, so the project we're on right now is the old 05 Ram that I'm stripping down to put my 41 Imperial body on. It's been a couple weeks since I've been able to get back at it. This channel, like the project itself, does not take priority over my family. Everything else comes first, so can't always get out here when I can, so progress is going to be slow. Anyway, we're back at it for a bit today. So, yeah, I'll show you what we got going on. So I have run about 18,000 feet of extension cord from the truck all the way up to my chicken coop, which you can just barely see up by the shop up there. Because I have no power down here, so I got to do what I can with what I have. And I run it to this flea market fine cord thing that I got there last week. Paid $2 for it, so it should be good. Got a circuit breaker on it, so she should only burn halfway to the ground. Yeah. Got all my tools in here, of course. Various weapons of mass destruction here. My sawzall, the grinder. I know nobody needs to see that, but I'm excited about cutting something today. It would be great if it could. I really, really want to cut something up today. I love that. Usually I cut my projects apart and I stop, but we can't do that this time. There's a lot of cutting to do. So the transmission tunnel I will be leaving, but I'll be cutting most of the floor out from the door jamb into at least about a foot, but where that toolbox is sitting, from the front all the way to the back, and the same with the firewall. I'm only going to leave the center section of the firewall, but I've got to move around all my wiring and everything first, of course, before I cut anything there. I want to try and save the spots in the firewall where the steering column stuff comes through. Maybe just cut those pieces out and move them over closer to the center when in the piece where the computer is there. All that's going to have to get compressed because the firewall for the Imperial is quite a bit shorter, narrower, I mean. So some of that stuff might go inside. The firewall for the Imperial also sits further ahead than the one for the truck. So it's going to be a little bit shady to figure out, but we'll get her. The other old Ram has moved up here. We're going to trade it off for some kind of a winter rig. This is the two-wheel drive. I was originally going to use that, but it only has 4.7 in it, and it's knocking. And the difference in years is going to make harnesses a little too hard to sort out, computers and stuff like that. There's nobody here in Eastern Canada that writes programs or anything for Dodges that I'm aware of for getting computers and stuff to work right, so I don't want to give myself too much extra work. So that's going to get traded off for something else to drive for the winter. I want to put the old Ford away, so I had a Honda Civic lined up, but that fell through. Now I know, I said I hate imports, Hondas especially. I said that 1,000 times, and it's true. I don't care too much for them. I know they're good rigs, but anyway, I need something I don't like for the winter, so I don't try to do something stupid and make a project of that too. Because let's face it, we all know I can't stay focused. But I have to this time. This has got to get done. I got to get something finished for myself and for you guys so you can see that, yeah, I can do stuff. You just got to keep at it. So, yeah, so I think the plan for now is I got to pull that box liner out of there to see what my floor is like. I have to get to the bolts underneath the box liner. I'm just going to cut them off. And somebody had a fifth wheel in it, so I got to get those fifth wheel plates off. So we'll start with that, see how that goes. I'm a little worried about taking the box liner out because I'm pretty sure there's nothing underneath it. And I don't know where I'm going to stand in there. So anyway, I'll get at that. I'll show as much as I can. There is just me, nobody to hold the camera for me. I'll probably set the phone up wherever I can get it set up, and we'll go from there. All right, so I got the box liner out, and you've heard me say that I don't know what I'm doing most of the time, half the time, at least some of the time. There's a lot of things I don't know. I've never had the box off a 3rd gen Ram before, so I did not realize you got to get the bolts from underneath. So I just fought that box liner out for no reason at all. However, you can see how rusty it is. It is bad. Look at that about that wheel well. Holes all up front. When I step in there, it's quite soft. I don't like being in there. Those anchors, tie-down anchors, they pretty well ripped right off. This side's pretty well the same. Look how bad that is. I should mention too, my microphone just died, so I'm just using the phone's own microphone. So if the sound is not great, I apologize. This thing has 2 microphones and it doesn't know which one it wants to use half the time. So down here on the frame are the support brackets for the 5th wheel, and they're actually they're just welded on. Same on both sides. I'm thinking I might just get my sawzall in there and cut it, rather than fight on top of the box with all that stuff. I think they're the same on both sides. And I don't know if you can see in there, that section of wiring right there at the front of the box, I think is where my electrical issue is for my fuel pump. I really hope that's it. Hopefully I can just do some splicing, and it doesn't look that great. It looks like it might be rubbing on that rusty piece of steel above it. So we might fare out pretty good here. Anyway, I'm going to continue fighting this box off. So Uncle Don, he said to me a couple of days ago, hey, can you use some seats for one of your projects? I said, possibly. What are they out of? He said they're out of Journey. 2 front ones and a back one. Don't know if they're leather or plastic or what they are, but they're there. You can have them if you want them. So I said, sure, I'll take them. So he said, they're dirty. They'll need to be cleaned. I said, that's fine. We can do that. So there we are. Nice set of lovely bucket seats to go in the Imperial. 2 front leather ones to the back, which we're going to need because she's going to get narrower. They're all there. 2 fronts and a back, as I said. Thanks again, Donnie. That's great. We will somehow make them work, because I think they're going to work a whole lot better. I do need a taller seat just because of the nature of the build. So yeah, that was the score. Quite happy to have them. Alright, so it's been some time since I could get back down here. Probably close to 3 weeks. We had some stuff we had to deal with. Nothing terrible or horrible or anything like that. Just stuff that took time. As I've said before, I probably just take a back seat. The channel itself is actually a project and takes a back seat. I apologize about that, but that's where I am in life right now. So, I'm back today. Got all kinds of cutting tools and stuff. All my favorite things. Grinders, sawzalls, wrenches, all kinds. You know, made 11 million trips back and forth up to the deck, up to the shop. Got all my tools down here to play for a bit. I'm going to cut something today. Want to cut something. Cutting rigs is one of my favorite things. Shouldn't be, what it is. So, I was underneath the box, trying to let bolts go. I got one let go, that's it. So, I'm going to do as much as I can today, cut as much stuff up. I think I'm going to cut the box off itself in pieces because my mind told me, you know, well, you need metal for patches anyway, and there it is. You're going to have to make brackets, mounts, holes, fill in holes, all kinds of stuff. Save your money buying metal. It's right there. It's not much good anyway. So, there'll be lots of repurposing done. Because there has to be. So, yeah. I did have a meeting with the executives of the channel, who are all just the voices in my head. And they all agreed, yep, cut her up. Go for it. Every one of us agreed, except for that one guy. Who's up in the back, you know, jumping up and down in the back, yelling obscenities. I can't tell you what he says. He's kind of my favorite guy. But anyway, so that's what we're going to do. Get some cutting done. See what we end up with. And I'm off work today. Called my boss, said I can't come in because it's Tuesday. He said, all right. Anyway, it seemed to work this time. We'll carry on from there. I did get those plates cut for the 5th wheel all around. So they're let go. That's one thing that did work. I started letting bolts go and I can only loosen one up, as I said earlier. So that's one thing that I don't have to deal with. I'm probably going to cut bumpers front and back. I'm not sure if I'm going to start in the box of the cab. Something about it really makes me want to cut the roof off that thing. We'll carry on. At some point, I should make sure these tires hold air too. All 4 of them are flat. They're good tires, but yeah. Anybody got a 17-inch Steelies and tires they want to trade for these chromies? Let me know. I haven't quite let all my wiring go yet. So that's got to happen too. And harnesses, these door posts and all over the roof and that. Kind of want to get them clear. I don't know how much of everything I'm going to use. I have my flat bar. Where'd that go? Oh, there it is. And of course I lose stuff. These are great for that. They're everywhere. Let's see where they'll go to. And there's my remote wire for my amplifier. At least that's already wired. I've never put on an amplifier before, but I might do that. Off. That one's off. So where, look at that. Where did the wire go that my third brake light was tied into? Where does it go? Where did she go? So I think I'm going to cut right here on this side, around here, under the window. And on the opposite side, because it is, of course, double walled, I see insulation. That stuff likes to cause fires. But I think if I stay around it, you know, and that way I can just let her fall into the box and drag her out of there. And, you know, the bigger the pieces we can take her off in, the quicker it'll go. Because we need to make some time. Time is never on my side. Not when you work for Back 40 Auto Works. I think we'll start with the zippy disc and see where we go. Still some of that fellows in pretty... Oh, I forgot to go get my tool for my grinder. I better go find that. I'll be right back. So I'm probably going to shut my microphone off as I start cutting, because you just won't hear anything other than the screeching and screaming of the saw, and nobody needs that. I'm going to start with my zip disc, my grinder, see how far I get. If you have not used a zip disc before, you need to be careful. So they call it a death wheel for a reason. They're very thin, extremely thin blades on them. They twist or bang or gouge, they can explode and take a chunk out of your face, or worse. So we'll just go careful with them, and I will probably chew up quite a bit of them. Alright, so I'm most of the way through there, actually pretty well all the way through the back wall. As you're cutting these things, you have to be careful, because the two pieces can, the top piece that has the heavy weight can of course settle on your blades and stuff and cause problems. Gouge your blade, catch your blade and smash it, either with the saw or with the sawzall or with the zip disc. Anything can happen. I want to cut these posts next, but I got thinking maybe I'll pull that windshield, because it'll be a little easier. Then I'll just have a couple posts to snip. That would be fantastic. Then I can take it all off in one bigger piece. I went looking for a blade. I have one brand new Wolf cutter with only one blade. So we'll go as far as we can. I don't know. I don't want to smash that windshield. Maybe I could sell it to help fund things, but we'll see what happens. All right, we'll give this a shot and try not to cut my fingers off. See how long this one blade lasts. They make kits for doing this. I just don't have one. I will probably have to go around it 11 million times. Don't cut yourself, Jeremy, you dummy. Taking this windshield out might not speed anything up. Might just add an hour or two to the process, or more. So I fought with this windshield for about 2 hours now, and I can't seem to get it out. I don't have enough equipment. However, I will get the equipment to do that. The proper windshield removing kit. The old sawzall blade don't work too bad though. You just can't get everywhere with it, so I'm going to shatter it, destroy it. It's already cracked, so I can't use it, but I'd like to get it out one piece, so I'm going to abandon that part of it and just keep cutting the rest. Yeah. See if I can get in there without killing myself and move stuff. Tripping all over my tools. That might be fun. Yeah. I think we're not all the way through here. We are missing the spot there. Ha! Got some? Always something, right? Always something. How heavy is that? How heavy is that? Yay! All right. One big old piece removed. A lot slower going than I like, but it works. get rid of these fellas, I think, next. Almost. We're getting there. Oh. Ooh, the sharp. Forgot about that. Sharp spots. There's the foam. Good thing I stayed above that. Caused the fire. I think I'll leave it like that. I kind of like it like that. No, not really. So I think the next thing I'm going to do now is remove these harnesses on all these grounds that are attached to these pieces up front. So I can cut these here sections off. Let the rad go. I'm not going to drain the rad yet, but there is one bolt there. A few more grounds there. As you can see them in there for the computer. So I'm going to let them go. And I brought some zip ties. I'm just going to zip tie them all together. There's one I am going to have to cut, which I didn't want to cut. But so my plan is to cut these here and here, top and bottom, both sides, and see if those bolts down there will let go. I doubt very much the core support bolts down there. I don't think they're going to let go, but we will try it. And then that's one more chunk of metal out of the way. And that will allow me to get the saw in there. There's no spot to cut these bumpers off because there is no way that those are coming off. I'd put a snipe on those once already. They don't want to loosen off. So I know a lot of people are watching saying, well, just take them off and loosen them. Well, we're in PEI. Things rust down pretty solid here. But we're making some progress, slow and steady. All right, some lower rad support bolts I let go now. They weren't too bad. I might try the box bolts again. They came out not too bad. All my harnesses are let go from these two. I guess they're frame, subframe sections, whatever they are. Over there and over here, the rad's more or less let go too. I'm going to cut that and try not to take it off in one piece. So more cutty. I put a smaller blade of saw I was using, just to be careful. I keep smashing like good blades. They're not good blades, they're like crappy tire blades, so they're cheaper. That should be, yeah. That'll be enough. All right, see how it goes. That blade will get one more, I don't know. Should. Haven't cut any wires yet, that's good. Because that does happen. I'm not that smart. Probably gonna need about $11,000 worth of blades here to finish this. I gotta be careful where I cut, because I can't just cut where I think I need to. I have to cut pieces to move pieces to move pieces to move pieces to cut pieces. So right now I'm just cutting what I can cut, measure, or without a measuring tape. That sounded like it got loose. Sounded like it got loose. Look at that. Ooh. Turning around. Is he doing something? One more piece. He's used for something, I'm sure. Now, maybe I can get this bumper off here without cutting. Maybe I can actually get a ratchet in there. Let's see. That would be nice. That would be nice. It's going to take a while. I'll shut the camera off and you can see it when it's done. Alright, so we got the rest of the front frame, front clip cut off. Managed to get the bumper off. Looks like quite a mess. Frame looks good from what I can see. However, I discovered this thing wasn't going to run anyway. As you can see down in there, I got at least one, maybe two bad coils, maybe even three. So that's something else to add on to the list. So, you know, but you always discover those things when you're into stuff. I've heard the truck run before, drove the truck myself a few years ago, so I know it was a good truck. Still a good starting point. I kind of have to go about it slowly anyway, so I can see what I need to cut as I cut pieces away. As I said before, you cut pieces to cut pieces to cut pieces. That's what I'm doing. It looks like a mess now. And again, doesn't look like a huge amount of progress, but when there's just me and limited amount of tools and not a whole lot of power, you do what you can. She's getting there. I'm going to concentrate on getting that box off, because that's kind of the next thing. I just wanted to, as I said earlier, I wanted to do some cutting. I couldn't wait. Foolish, I guess, but I enjoy it. So we'll do the best we can to get that box off and the back bumper off. I spent probably the last hour or two going between both rigs with the tape measure, seeing how things are going to work, and I still think everything's going to turn out all right. I don't know if you can see it in there, but I'm thinking I might still be able to catch those body mounts in there. I only have to cut about a foot off each side of the rig, so I might still be able to use those. The front ones from the Rad Sport did come out a lot better than I thought they would. Actually, it was harder to get the bumper bolts off than them friggin' bolts for the front Rad Sport. I'm going to have to do something down in here with the Imperial. These are getting pretty bad. Before I move it, I'll brace it up somehow. I would like to get the Imperial and the Ram up to the shop in one shot. You see there on the other side is not much better. I got to do something before I take it off this frame, so, which is common with this stuff. So, and it's looking like when I go into the trunk there, you can see where the frame comes up inside the car. You can just see underneath the back floor there. The frame of the Ram's not as wide, so although the, oh look, there's a chipmunk in there. Can you see him? I can see him. He's watching me. He's going to get evicted here soon. Oh, there he goes. Anyway, so yeah, I think we're going to be okay. I think we're going to sit all right. I might not even pull the lift kit out of the truck, really. I'm just going to drop the body down as low as I can to make it look good. If it has more ground clearance for going through drifts and stuff like that, which I will probably try to do, it will work. So that is going to be it for this one. I will continue to pick away, and I'll post my progress, of course, but it takes so long to get anything done that I won't be filming absolutely everything. I'll just show bits and pieces as it gets there, and we'll go from there. Thanks for watching, and please like and subscribe.